Fresh from prison, a street racer who was framed by a wealthy business associate joins a cross-country race with revenge in mind. This is my review of Need for Speed. So I was excited to see Need for Speed because it was on my top 15 most anticipated movies of 2014 list, and it was at number 13. I was also excited for Need for Speed because it starred Aaron Paul, and this movie was, this is the first movie where we're going to see if Aaron Paul's career is going to go into the movie world or if it's going to stay with the TV world. And before I went to see Need for Speed, there was a lot of speculation that this movie was just going to be a rip-off of Fast and Furious, and I know that's not true because Need for Speed is based off a video game. And from what I've heard from people that have played the game, there's not much of a storyline in the game at all. So the people that are making this movie sort of had some liberties to go for because of the fact that there wasn't much of a storyline in the video games. And I gotta say, after seeing Need for Speed with my dad, the movie is a fun time. It's not perfect at all, but it sure is a fun time. The good points. The best thing about Need for Speed was the fact that the filmmakers decided to use practical car stunts in this movie and practical vehicle stunts. Throughout the entire movie, there wasn't a lot of visual effects, like during the moments where a car was being used, because when I saw it on screen I was like, wow, this is all real. And all the car stunts throughout the movie were really well done, I thought. And I thought that the car chases and car races were all action-packed and good. The next best thing I can say about the movie is the acting from Aaron Paul and Michael Keaton. Aaron Paul plays the lead in this movie, and his acting is really good. Not Breaking Bad good, but it was good enough for what his character was going through and everything, and he did a good job. As for Michael Keaton, I didn't know he was in this movie, but he plays this hyper person that's the host of this underground race that's in the movie, and he played it really well. Another good thing about the movie was the sound design, because when the car, when you were inside a car, it sounded like you were inside a car when it was being, when it was going over 100 miles an hour, or if it was drifting. And it even sounded more real when you were outside of the car because it sounded exactly like what a car would sound like it was going over 100 miles an hour. I liked some of the directing that was done in this movie because there were a lot of moments where you were in a POV shot of the person that was driving in the race or who was being chased by the cops or whoever. And when that shot came up on the screen, you felt like you were the person that was driving. But other than that, there were some other directing decisions that I thought were good. The final good thing I have to say about Need for Speed is the fact that it's not entirely a rip-off of Fast and Furious. There are some aspects that seem like they took from Fast and Furious, but overall I think it's not an entire rip-off of the franchise. The bad points. So I think the major thing that Need for Speed suffered from was the writing. I'll give props to the writers at the beginning, because in the beginning of the movie, before Aaron Paul's character goes to jail, and that's not a spoiler because you see that in the trailer, but before his character goes to jail, they try to make the movie seem logical and make it seem like that these things could happen in real life and everything. But after Aaron Paul's character gets out of jail, the movie takes a 180, and it feels like the things, some of the things you see on the screen seem not that logical at all, or things that don't really make sense at all. And I'll get to those things in the spoilers later on. The next bad thing I have to say is the comic relief in the movie. When I was watching the movie, I thought that the comic relief was really well done. But a few hours after watching the movie, I thought to myself, was that really needed at that scene? Because it seemed like it slowed the movie down and made it a little bit boring. And then I started to realize that there were some moments with the comic relief that weren't really needed because they either slowed the movie down or made it boring. And there's this one scene of the movie where there was a scene of comic relief with this one supporting character, and you guys will know what I'm talking about if you go to see the movie. Like, when I was watching the movie, I thought that scene was really funny and well done, but like a few hours after watching I was like, man, that really wasn't needed because it sort of slowed the movie down. Okay, so here are the ratings for Need for Speed. Like I said, I saw it with my dad, and my dad gives it a 3 out of 4 stars, while I give it a 2.75 out of 4 stars. So the movie is fun, action-packed. I liked the car races, the car chases. Aaron Paul and Michael Keaton were really good in the movie. And I don't really think that you need to go see it now, and you can wait for it to come out on DVD and Blu-ray. Alright, spoilers for Need for Speed. If you still want to see Need for Speed, then get over now, because I'm going to be spoiling a few things about the movie. And if you want to stay and watch them, then watch them. But I'm just warning you, for those of you that haven't seen the movie yet, spoiling. So like I said in the bad points, the movie was logical in the first part where Aaron Paul's character hadn't gone to jail yet, but the parts after where he got out of jail, they weren't logical at all, and it, like, I was liking it that it was like starting to be logical, but when it made a 180 and went to like not logical, it was like, really? For example, like right after he gets out of jail, he calls one of the people that he made a car for, and the person he calls is this like multi-millionaire rich person. And the person knows that he's an ex-convict, and Aaron Paul's character asks for him to borrow his car that he made for him. And the guy's like, okay, sure, here are the keys. Well, that doesn't happen. Like, he has his secretary or whatever bring the car to him, but still, it's like, really? You're giving an ex-convict his, like, the car that he made for you? For what reason? And the other thing I noticed that didn't really make sense after watching the movie is that Aaron Paul's character is on parole after he gets out of jail. And I believe Aaron Paul's character even says that they need to stay low so that they don't catch the attention of the police. But when Aaron Paul's character and the rest of the crew go and get one of the other people that used to be in his crew, like, he gets the attention of the police, and it's like, really? You just said you didn't need the attention from the police since you're on parole, but now you're getting their attention? I mean, that doesn't just make sense. Why would you get the attention of the police when you're trying to, like, stay low and get to this underground race so you can get revenge on a person that killed one of your best friends? I mean, it's like, ugh. So that was my review for Need for Speed. I hope you guys liked it. Like I said, a good, fun, action-packed car movie. I think that you need to wait for it to come out on DVD and Blu-ray because I don't think it's a movie that you need to see at the movies. But if you still want to do it, then go ahead and see it because it's a fun, good time. And other than that, that's it.